As men, society has its way of pressuring us into roles that we may or may not want. And these roles require things from us that can really take a toll on your mental health. Gain attention, garner the respect of others, your peers and friends. Earn high income, important sounding titles that make you feel good about yourself. And these are the things that a lot of people think that you need to live a good life. And they complicate things. To live a good life, I actually think is a lot more simple than people might think that it is. And today we're going to talk through it. How to simply live a good life. Now, as a disclaimer, that doesn't mean that it doesn't come with challenges, and that doesn't mean that everything is always going to be easy, but I do think it's a lot less complicated than people make it. The first step that a lot of people never take is actually identifying what it is they want from this life. Most people don't consider these types of things seriously until they're in their mid-40s and 50s, which triggers the famous midlife crisis. What do you actually want? Is it to become a high earner? Have an important sounding title? Is your number one goal in life to have kids and be the best dad possible? Do you want to create a legacy where you leave behind an impact when you pass away that people can't stop talking about the great man you were, all the lives you affected, and everything else that you did with your life? Or is it something else? It's for you really to decide more than anyone else, because when you die, no one's going to be in that casket with you. There's no bunk beds, there's no twin sheets, there's nothing in that casket except some wood, some padding, a blanket, and you. So you have to decide what it is you want to do with your lifetime. And it's best to figure it out as young as possible, because honestly, it's ever changing. But if you have a good idea on how to soul search, how to find purpose, especially as young as your teens and your 20s, then when your purpose in life does change and the things that you want from life do change, you'll be able to identify it. You'll be able to soul search at a better, more efficient pace than someone who's just worked and did what everyone else expects them to do and what everyone else wanted them to be for their entire lives. So that's the first thing. And I don't mean just think of a goal, identify it, and say this is what I'm going to go for, because that's not going to be enough to fuel you. I mean, seriously sit in solitude on a regular basis. It can be every day. It can be 2 times a week. Just sit with your own thoughts. No phone, no TV, no other type of media that is consuming all of your attention and firing the neurons in your brain to hit quick dopamine. And sit and think what it is that you want to do with your life. For some people, like I said, it is to make as much money as possible. Some people, it's to be the best family man possible. To some people, they want to change the world, and starting with dismantling the system of capitalism that we live in. Other people, they're all for capitalism and they just want to be rich, whether it's for a family, whether it's to change their bloodline's trajectory, or whether it's just to spend it all, go on luxurious vacations and everything else that you can do with that type of money is really up to you. But what you shouldn't be doing by any stretch of the word, if you want to live a simple, good life, is taking what other people want you to be and putting it at the forefront. What your parents think you should be, what their career aspirations and goals were for you, what your friends want you to be. They want you to continue to hang out with them even though you might be outgrowing them. What society pressures you to be. The super macho Chad that's into stocks and finance and buying 1,000 whole Bitcoins just because this is what society... It's so many reasons that you shouldn't be what someone else wants you to be. Firstly, because people really don't know what they want. People don't think critically, if you've ever noticed. They're just chasing the next trend, the next fad, what it is they think is cool in the moment. But people don't seriously know what they want unless they're doing the same things that I'm telling you that you should be doing now. A lot of people seriously don't take time to consider what life is to them, what it means, what they want. And I'm spending so much time on this point because it's seriously the most important thing. And it doesn't mean you have to want one singular thing, but figure out the things that fuel you, the things that make you tick, what makes you feel alive, right? And seriously hone in on this and create a plan and figure out how you can try to do this as much as possible for the rest of your life, or maybe doing whatever it is for the next 5 years and then spend the next 10 years after that doing something else. But identification is the first and huge step to living a good life, especially in a simple fashion. And after that, like I said, making a plan, tweaking the plan, working towards it relentlessly, no matter who's going to think anything, no matter who has something to say about it. You have identified now what you want to do in your life. You have identified, maybe you are willing, you're one of the people that wants world peace and wants to solve world hunger. So many people say that they want that because it sounds good, because it feeds their ego, but nobody wants to do the work into actually taking a bite out of the problem. Whatever it is that you want to do, work towards it. Create a plan. Get to other people and build community with people that are like-minded. And it sounds simple, and it is. It sounds obvious, and it is. It should be. But so many people don't follow this line of thinking because they want to impress people. They want nice cars. They want a big house. They want things that you can brag on in small talk. And how often do you seriously remember the small talk that somebody made with you? Exactly. So what's the point in spending your entire life doing things just so you can make better sounding small talk with somebody? Purpose work is what's important. Purpose work is it pays not just the bill. It might not pay the bills as well, but it fuels your soul. It fuels your entire spirit, your reason for being. And so many people just skip over this. You can live your entire life never doing what it actually is that you want to do, and just regretting and wondering what it would have been like if you would have taken the leap, if you would have taken the risk, if you would have stopped listening to what people had to say, if you would have just done for you instead of everyone else around you. And it makes you miserable. And that's how you end up in your late 30s and your 40s and your 50s, and you feel like you haven't accomplished anything. Even though you have all these things that you can name off. You went to college, you got a great degree, or you went to trade school, you made a bunch of money, you've done wonderful things to help other people in their lives, whether it's via money or resources or anything else, but it doesn't feel right to you because none of it is what you wanted to do. None of it is what you set up to be happy with for the rest of your life. It creates dread and regret and all types of resentment. And that's why you need to focus while you still can, while you're still young, while you're in your 20s and your 30s. You don't have a midlife crisis coming up, but you also don't have time to waste. You can try things, you can fail, you can experiment, but it doesn't mean you have time to waste. And that's the main point of what I'm saying here. A lot of things we make complicated because we care too much about what other people are going to say, what other people are going to think, how other people might treat you. When at the end of the day, it just really reflects how they feel about themselves, and it has nothing to do with you as a person unless you're out here doing bad stuff, unless you're harming people, right? And even if people don't like you because of who you are, because of the things that you like, fine. You don't have to be around them. They obviously don't have the same values, the same interests as you. And if they want to treat you poorly because of what you believe in, then don't associate with them. Go associate with people who do believe in what you believe in. It's mind-numbingly simple to a point where I'm trying to find another way to break it down, but I really don't think there is one. When you stop living your life for other people and you begin to live for you and the things that you value, the things that fuel you, even if what fuels you is helping other people, when you're doing it for you, you so quickly begin to stop caring, to stop feeling embarrassment, to stop having this second thought of maybe I should be doing something else, maybe I should be elsewhere, maybe I should be acting on this instead of that. And sometimes the thing that fuels you, like I said, it doesn't pay the bills as well. Sometimes you have to do a couple extra things on the side. Sometimes you might have to pick up a side hustle or something else, something that helps you pay the bills, something that helps you go on vacations if that's what you care about. But it's worth it every time, 1,000 times over, rather than being soulless, rather than being a zombie who goes to work every day, just dreading the time that they're on the clock, waiting to get off so they can spend their 2 days off during the weekend getting drunk and partying and everything else that makes you hate the regular life that you live. And after those 2 days, you go right back to another 5-day cycle of hating every waking moment of everything that you do because you have to pretend to be somebody that you're not, just for the sake of saying that you fit in, just for the sake of, again, making better small talk. Hey, I just got a new garage. I put it in a car. I just got a new car and put it in the garage. And she is a beauty. Nobody cares about that type of stuff. And you don't either. You shouldn't, at least. The small talk, the fakeness, trying to impress people. Oh my goodness, I can't get away from how meaningless this all is, and how many times I've seen it in people my age, and what it leads to, and the people that get older and just have all this regret. And oh goodness, I'm gonna run myself amok just thinking about it. Live for you and the things that you care about. Live with purpose, something that fills your spirit with joy, something that you would do for the rest of your life if you weren't paid for it. Figure out what that thing is and do it as much as you can. It's extremely simple. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but it's not as complicated as you think it is. See you guys in the next one.